Hi there, I'm Michelle Prince, self-publishing expert and founder of the Book Bound Workshop. I get a lot of questions about writing a book. It seems most people want to write a book, but the majority of people just don't know where to start. That's why I created this webinar, to answer your most burning questions about book writing, the publishing process, and how to leverage author status. The number one question I get from potential authors is, where do I start? With so many details in the publishing process, it can seem like a daunting task to get started. It can seem even more overwhelming to pick a topic. That's where our training begins today, how to find your topic. There's no limit to the potential topics you could write about in a book, but the trick is figuring out what the right topic is for you and for your audience. You have to write a book that will benefit the reader and a book that you want to write. Otherwise, your chances of failure are very high. What's your story? What can you share with other people that can make a difference in their life? What special gifts or talents do you possess that other people value? What experiences have you been through in life, good or bad, that enables you to help those who are still experiencing those things? It could be divorce, abuse, or parenthood. Building a business. You see, writing a book is just about sharing what you already know and putting it in a format that more people can digest. It's about putting your experiences, advice, and expertise on paper and then getting it in the hands of the most readers as possible to help as many people as possible. Bottom line, writing a book is about making a difference. I'm going to share a formula with you that is guaranteed to help you find your topic for your first book. And if you've done this correctly, you should have topics for multiple books. Let's get started. Take out a sheet of paper and make a T chart. On the left side of the T, I want you to write the word passions on the top. On the right side of the T, write the word experiences on the top. Or go ahead and download the Finding Your Topic worksheet right here on this page. Once you've downloaded the worksheet, start thinking about the left side of the T, your passions. I want you to list as many things as possible that you're passionate about, things that you love, things that you enjoy doing, things that light you up. Don't overthink this, and don't think of this exercise in terms of writing a book yet. Just think about what you enjoy doing. I'll share a few of mine. I love the beach. It's a place to be where I'm totally at peace. I connect with the ocean in a way I can't even explain, and I absolutely love everything about the beach. So that's the first thing on my list. I'm also passionate about personal development and growth. I strive to be the best I can be, so I thoroughly enjoy reading motivational books, attending seminars, and being around like-minded people who want more for their life. I love pugs. I have a pug named Zoe, and she's my baby girl. I'm obsessed with pugs because, well, they really are the most awesome dogs in the world, right? I'm passionate about making a difference, encouraging others to be the best. You get the idea. Okay, you should have at least 5 things on your list by now. Now, I want you to forget about your passions and focus on the right side of the page, your experiences. What do you have experience doing? It doesn't have to be job related, but it could be. Your experiences include things that you've gone through in life. Maybe you have experience as a mother, being a salesperson, as a business owner, or fighter pilot. Maybe you have experience going through something difficult, like abuse, bankruptcy, divorce, or low self-esteem. These things may not have been enjoyable, but you did experience them, so you have to put them on your list. Go ahead and make that list and think of as many things as possible related to what you've had experience with in life. A few of my experiences include being in sales, being a mom, being a dancer in my younger years, working for Zig Ziglar, writing a book, etc. What about you? Make sure you get at least 5 things on your list. Now, here's where the fun part comes. This formula is exactly how thousands of other authors discovered their book topic, and you will too. You want to look at both of your lists and see where you can find a connection, a similarity. Literally draw a line from one side of the T to the other side trying to link up similarities. I told you about my passions, and one of them was personal growth. I also told you a little bit about my experiences, and I listed working for Zig Ziglar. Do you see the connection? I'm passionate about personal development and being my best. Plus, I've worked for the master of personal development and have experience applying those strategies I learned from him in my own life. A natural book topic would be a book about my experiences going through the ups and downs of life while using personal development strategies that I learned from Zig Ziglar and sharing those strategies with the reader. And that's exactly what I did with my first book, Winning in Life Now, which later became a bestseller in 2 categories the very first day we launched the book. Not to mention, this book was so easy to write. It literally flew out of me, and the entire thing was done in 3 weeks. No kidding. So, now you give it a try. Where do you see a connection? If you did this right, you probably see many connections and many possible book ideas. If you have more than one, then the easiest way to pick your first book topic is to see which one of those topics speaks most to you or which would be the easiest for you to write right now. The reason passion and experience and the intersection of the two are so critical is that without one or the other, your book project is doomed to fail. If you write a book about something you're passionate about but have no experience, then your book will lack depth or credibility. If you write a book about something you have experience but no passion, then you won't have the motivation to finish the book. It has to be an intersection between the two in order to write a book that the reader wants to read and a book that you want to write. Most people think that if they just know the publishing process, that writing a book will be easy. And it can be, but only once you have what you know out on paper. But before you can get it out on paper, you have to know what it is you want to say. So essentially, the first step in the publishing process is not publishing at all. It begins with pre-writing. Pre-writing starts long before you're actually ready to write. It's never too early to begin capturing ideas, quotes, and stories for your book. Begin by keeping a journal of anything that comes to mind related to the book. Keep these stories in one place and don't worry about grammar, punctuation, or anything else at this stage. Just jot down thoughts as they come. When you're ready for the drafting stage, you'll have these notes to guide you and give you ideas to build your book outline. Whether you journal in a notebook or write online in the pre-writing stage really doesn't matter. All that matters is that you take what's floating around in your head and capture these ideas that will turn into content. Now that you have your story, it's time to figure out what to do with it. Next, I'm going to give you proven strategies to help you take those thoughts and ideas swirling around in your head and make sense of them. I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to get your story out of your head and onto paper. Once the topic is identified, you'd think it would be smooth sailing to get the book underway, but this is where I see a lot of would-be authors fail. They don't know how to take all the knowledge, expertise, stories, and advice out of their head and get it on paper. They don't know how to create an outline that will eventually become a book. And like most authors, I struggled with this too, until I discovered a foolproof way to easily map out the contents of any book. And I want to share that with you today. Let's go back to our Finding Your Topic exercise you just completed. Now that you have a list of several different possible topics, it's time to select one that you want to use for your first book. I say first book because this process often lends itself to creating authors of multiple books. I'm living proof of that. Which topic jumps out at you the most? Which topic would be easy for you to get out on paper? Which topic do you find yourself talking about most frequently? The best first book to write is going to be the easiest book for you to write, meaning you don't need to do a lot of research to get the points across. It's a topic you know well, most often your life story, and it's one you should be able to get out of your head and onto paper pretty quickly. Got a topic? Okay, great. Now it's time to get what you know about this topic out and onto paper and into an outline. How do we do that? There are many different ways, but I have found mind mapping to be a great way to create a book outline. A mind map is a diagram used to visually outline information. A mind map is often created around a single word or text placed in the center to which associated ideas, words, and concepts are added. Major categories radiate from a center, and lesser categories are sub-branches of larger branches. Categories can represent words, ideas, tasks, or other items related to a central keyword or idea. Mind maps can be drawn by hand, or there are plenty of online versions available on the internet. I personally prefer drawing these by hand. The outcome of this map, specific to writing a book, is you'll have an outline of all of your chapters, sub-chapters, and stories to share within those chapters. It's so exciting to see it all on paper in a simple, easy-to-understand way. In my Bookbound workshop, I walk you through step-by-step in creating your own book outline through this mind mapping process. Thousands of authors before you have followed this formula and have successfully created their book outline in less than 60 minutes. Once you've created your book outline, it's time to decide what will be the best method to get those thoughts on paper. There are 3 ways to do this, and your job is to figure out what method will work best for you. Number 1, good old-fashioned paper and pen. Some of you love to write, and you like to write in notebooks, journals, on napkins, wherever to express your thoughts. If you can express yourself best in this way, then by all means do it. Get a journal or a folder and start writing down ideas as they come. You may get an inspiration for a story to share in the book. Get it on paper. There will be times when you have the motivation to write an entire chapter in one sitting, and other times you'll only write a sentence. The key to being successful with the paper and pen method of writing is to get it on paper. Now, there is a downside to writing your book manually. At some point, once you've proofed your work and are ready for an editor to review it, you'll have to get your written word into electronic format, most commonly a Word document. This is an extra step in the process compared to just writing your book online, but if your creativity is flowing best with paper and pen, then that's the way you should do it. Number 2, the second way to get your story out of your head and onto paper is by typing your story. This eliminates the extra step I mentioned of taking your manually written work and then having to type it into a document. Instead, you begin by writing your thoughts and stories in a Word document from the get-go, which will expedite the process. Many of you, like myself, think best when you're typing on a keyboard. The creative juices start flowing as soon as your fingers touch the keyboard. If that's the case for you, then this is definitely the way to go, and it's the simplest way, in my opinion. The third and most common way to get your story out is to talk your book. By talk your book, I mean record yourself telling your story chapter by chapter. These audio recordings can then be sent to a transcriber who can take your spoken word and get it into a Word document, which then becomes your book. Voila! There are so many recording devices on the market today, so don't overcomplicate this. You can purchase a digital recorder that will record you speaking and then download those audio files onto your computer. You could use a conference line and record yourself, or you could even use your smartphone to record yourself, because there are tons of voice recognition apps out there. The bottom line is just get yourself talking and hit the record button. Once you decide on your best format for getting your story on paper, now it's time for the brain dump. This is where you write, type, speak everything you know about your book, and you don't stop until it's all out of your head. This is the drafting phase of the publishing process, not the editing stage. So it's very important that you don't critique your work at this stage. Don't go back and reread what you wrote until everything you can think of is out on paper. This will allow your creativity to flow easier and allow you to get all of your thoughts out without disruption and without killing your train of thought. You have to be disciplined in this stage because it's easy to write a paragraph and then go back and reread what you wrote. Typically, if you don't like how it's written, you may start rewriting it, second-guessing yourself, and creating doubt. This is when I see many authors give up. They just don't think they have what it takes as a writer, or it's too hard to get it out of their head, so they just stop trying. Don't fall into that same trap and complicate this process. Just trust me on the brain dump, and you'll see the book come to life much quicker than you could ever imagine. Okay, now you've either written, typed, or talked your book. Now it's time for you to proof, revise, and make sure the content is what you want for your book. It is your responsibility to do a good job revising and proofing your work before you hire an editor. Doing so will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. At this point, once we enter the editing process, most authors are ready to put down their pen and be done with the process. But this is the most important part of the book writing process. It's not the fun part, but it is necessary to get your book exactly the way you want it. You've come this far, so don't cut corners and think you're done. The fun is just beginning. Now that you've done your own proofreading and made sure the book has all the details you want included, now it's time to hire an editor. Hiring a professional editor is the best money you will ever spend in the publishing process. Once your book is published, it's out there forever, so you want to make sure that it's done properly. There are many levels of editing and different types of editors, so it's important to do your research to find the right editor. You should look for an editor that has edited books in your genre before and one that has references you can call. Make sure to negotiate and sign a contract with rates and timelines before moving forward with an editor. You will really see your book come to life once an editor has reviewed and made suggestions to your manuscript. They are very talented at making your story read well, and I have found them to be invaluable in my book writing process. Make sure your manuscript captures your story and is told in a way that will help other people is your #1 priority. This may take more time than you'd like, but in the end, you'll be so proud of the final product. You don't want to forsake quality for speed, so please spend the time perfecting your story before you take your book to print. Now that we have your topic and we know what to do with it, it's time to start leveraging author status and monetize your message. When you're an author, you immediately become more credible in the eyes of your clients, colleagues, family, and friends. Even before somebody reads the contents of your book, you are considered an authority just because you authored a book. You also become somewhat of a celebrity, and I don't mean like a movie star. I mean in your local community, in your network, in your industry, you are now the go-to person on that subject. You are the niche expert on your topic, and who loves celebrities and people of authority? The media. Which brings me to the first way that you can leverage author status to grow your business and your bottom line. Being an author will get you media attention. We all want to learn from the expert. And what does that mean for you as an author? Access to the media. The media needs authors like you to be credible guests on their shows, in their newspapers, or other publications. When you're an author, you're considered talk show worthy. You're actually in demand as an author with the media because all TV, radio, newspaper, magazine, and other publication executives need guests every single day. Their job is to bring value to the local community, so they want to talk to the expert. And who is the expert? An author is the expert. You are the expert. You're actually making their job easier, so they love working with authors. For example, let's say you're a dentist and you've written a book on everything you need to know before hiring a dentist. Once the local media hears about you, they'll want to bring you onto the local news channel talking about the importance of finding the right dentist. This kind of exposure is priceless and will radically impact your business by giving the public direct access to you, which will bring you more leads and ultimately more opportunities. You can pay for media exposure like this, but authors don't need to pay for this because ultimately the media needs you. So how do we get in front of the media? Press releases. Press releases are the easiest, fastest way to get the attention of the media. I already mentioned that the media needs you to do their job. They need credible experts. Press releases alert the media in your local community or even around the country that you are a credible, newsworthy authority. As an author, you can send press releases for many different reasons. Send a release when you begin writing your book. Send another release when the book is complete, and another when you officially launch your book. The point is you want to keep the media up to date on what you're doing so that the local news outlets know that you are the go-to resource in your community. Once they know, you'll be booked for radio interviews, TV segments, newspaper articles, etc. But you can't get on the radio or TV or in the news if the media doesn't know about you. It's your job to get the word out with publicity and press releases. Your book is the greatest business card you will ever own. People will throw away a business card, but they will not throw away a book. So, if you want to increase your leads, get your book in the hands of as many people as possible and give it away as a bonus. It may cost you a few dollars, but it's the best marketing investment you can make. Then, when a prospect is considering doing business with you or with your competitor and they have a copy of your book, they will perceive you as being more credible. They will perceive you as the expert. And don't we all want to work with the expert? Of course we do. Business 101 is that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. The best way for your clients to get to know, like, and trust you is to read your story. But it goes beyond that. When your clients know, like, and trust you, they will tell their friends. Referrals are a great way to grow your business, and having a book makes it that much easier. I already mentioned that people don't typically throw away books, but what do we typically do with a good book? We pass it along. People pass around things of value, and if you're writing about something that you know, something that will help other people, then they're going to pass it around, and that's going to get you referral business. Being an author, no matter your topic, will bring you media attention, more leads, and referrals, and it will also bring you speaking opportunities. Even if you have no desire to be a professional speaker, speaking will allow you to showcase your book, your story, and your business to more people in a shorter amount of time. You are selling one to many instead of selling one to one. Like the media, companies, associations, and groups want a speaker that is the expert, and you are the expert. Do not underestimate the power of speaking. It can exponentially explode opportunities for you as an author. I personally have used speaking to catapult my business. This one step can make a dramatic difference to your bottom line, if done correctly. In my Bookbound workshop, I share specific ways that you can book speaking engagements in your local community to start talking about your book and your business. Let's switch gears a bit. The number one question I get from people related to book writing is, how much money can I really make as an author? Let's do some simple math together. Think of how much money you want to make this year. $50,000, $500,000, $1 million? To keep this simple, let's use $100,000 as our example and follow this equation. Number of books times book profit equals revenue. Let's say we sell our book for $20. Now, divide that by our revenue target of $100,000. If you want to make $100,000 with book sales, then you need to sell at least 5,000 books. Wow, that is a lot of books. But actually, it's more than that because you won't net $20 per book because there is a cost to produce the book. So let's be more realistic and say you profit $10 per book. That means you need to sell 10,000 books to make $100,000. How long do you think it will take you to sell 10,000 books? Probably a long time. Let me give you an easier way to make money with your book by creating multiple revenue streams. People do not value books. They value the content found in books. So a book is really just a mechanism to get your valuable content to your target market. By repurposing that content in multiple ways, it will give you multiple revenue streams. Let's look at 7 potential opportunities to monetize your message. Number 1, a physical book. Some people prefer to hold a book or put it on a bookshelf. Number 2, an ebook. It could be a Kindle, Nook. Number 3, CD. Listening in the car, downloading to a device. Number 4, DVD. Some people like to watch on their computer or a DVD player. Number 5, seminar, live events. Number 6, home study course, which is a virtual version of the seminar. And number 7 is one-on-one coaching. People want direct access to you. With all of these options, it's the same information. You're just preparing it in a way that hits all demographics and learning styles and creates multiple revenue opportunities for you. In my Bookbound workshop, I share more specific ways to really leverage the concept of multiple revenue streams, as I see it as one of the fastest ways to monetize your message. The bottom line in successfully leveraging author status and profiting from your experience is to differentiate and stand out from your competition. When you write a book and become the authority in that market, you no longer have to compete on price. You compete on credibility, which makes price a non-issue. In the mind of your prospect, because you took the time, had the courage and expertise to write a book, then you must be the best. And we've already established that we all want to work with the best. I want to share with you the fastest and easiest way to make money as an author before your book is even written, and that's pre-selling your book. Once the manuscript is in the process and you are within 3 months of printing, start selling your book at a special rate. Give your readers the opportunity to be the first to get your book and use the sales of those books to pay for your publication costs. Now, stay in integrity and only do this if you're committed to completing your book and you can give the readers an estimated ship date. There is so much more I'd like to share with you, but we are running out of time. These are just a few of the incredible marketing strategies that we teach at the Bookbound Workshop, and I guarantee they will work if you do the work. We've all heard the saying, talk is cheap, and while I hope you enjoyed this webinar, more importantly, I really hope you use its strategies to get you where you want to go. In my experience, however, just attending a webinar alone will not make the difference you're looking for. It's a start, but if you want to succeed in the real world, it's going to be your actions that count. In the first part of this webinar, I introduced you to the concept of finding your topic. It's simple. Your passions plus your experiences equals a book you want to write and a book the reader wants to read. Make sure you do the exercise I suggested on narrowing down which book will be your best first book in order to truly be successful in this stage. In the second part of this webinar, you learn 3 specific ways to get your book out of your head and onto paper. I recommend you commit to one of these methods as quickly as possible and continue in that method until you've done your full brain dump. Remember, don't edit at this point. Just get it out of your head. Finally, you learned how to leverage author status and monetize your message. Remember, no one will know about you or your book if you don't become a master at these strategies that I shared with you. You have to put the materials into practice. Not just listen to it, not just talk about it, and not just think about it, but actually do it. Beware of the little voice in your head saying something like, "Who are you to write a book? What do you have to say? You don't have time to write a book." Notice who's doing the talking here. The conditioned mind, that's who. Remember, its job is to keep you right where you are, in your comfort zone. If you were comfortable with becoming an author, you would have done it by now. Don't listen to it. Do the writing, work the plan, and see your life and your business explode. As I stated earlier, I learned my way to success as an author and a business owner, so now it's my turn to assist others. My mission is to motivate, inspire, and encourage others to find their passion, live their purpose, and share their story to make a difference in other people's lives. I know we all have a story, and your story matters. I'm truly blessed to have seminars, workshops, and programs that transform people's lives quickly and permanently. I'm thrilled to have been able to help thousands of people become authors. From my heart to yours, I invite you to attend the 3-day Bookbound Workshop. This event will take you to an entirely new level of success personally and professionally. This event is where we actually create your book blueprint right on the spot. In one incredible weekend, you will break through whatever is holding you back from stepping into your greatness and sharing your story. You will walk out of the program with a brand new outlook on life, on your strengths, your message, your purpose, and on yourself. Many attendees count the Bookbound Workshop as one of the most important experiences of their life. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's packed with profound knowledge and essential book writing formulas that will guarantee your success. You will meet many like-minded people from all over the world, many of whom could be business associates and lifelong friends. This is so crucial for you to attend that for a limited time, I'm offering the workshop at a reduced rate with a 100% money-back guarantee. If you are not 100% ecstatic by what you learn on the first day, then we will refund your investment, no questions asked. That's right, it's guaranteed, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. All the details are at bookboundworkshop.com. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I wish you tremendous success and true happiness, and I look forward to meeting you in person soon. And I can't wait to read your book.